and Jim, and they work with Mark's team on service delivery. And Rizal, I said, is joining from Dhaka, Bangladesh, and Karen works a lot with our leads and lead generation, and she works with Rizal on that as well, and she's joining us from Florida. So
okay, all right, great. Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Or good evening, or depending on where you are. All right, so my name is Kristen Kelly. I am the trainer at Soliant, and I am also a project manager. We also have Michelle Lavalette, who's going to be on the call. She worked to develop this org for your organization. So if there's any questions that are, on what we can and cannot do, I have her on the line just in case, so she can chime in if she needs to. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
All right, awesome. All right, can everyone see that?
Yep.
Yeah,
all right, great. All right, so again, we're going to be going over Salesforce today. Feel free, since this is a small training, chime in where you have questions. Let me know if I need to slow it down or I can skip something. So feel free to be interactive here. So the basis of this training is we are moving to Lightning on December 21st. You'll notice that throughout this training, the terminology is still going to be the same. The way you're doing things might be a little different. But what we really want to concentrate on is in Classic really formed on data entry. So how can a business come in to Salesforce and enter in data in an organized way? And as we move to Lightning, the workflow productivity is going to be a little different. So Lightning really concentrates on how to come in here and add data, but also make it a seamless process for you and for you to come in here and do things as quickly as possible, but be as efficient as possible. So you'll see throughout the training, that's what Lightning really concentrates on. So hopefully when moving to Lightning, your life's become a little bit easier. So our agenda today is going to be, first we're going to refresh on the basics. I know a lot of you are in and out of Salesforce every day, but it will help to be on the same page throughout the training and using the same terminology. So we'll just run through that really quickly. Then we'll go through the Classic versus Lightning, so some major callouts that are different in Lightning than in Classic. And we'll run through your objects, so your account and contact management, opportunity management, and the projects tab. We'll also, that's not listed here, is I know some of you are dealing with leads, so we'll make sure that we run by leads and make sure you're comfortable using those. We'll also touch on activities. So what we're looking to do with Lightning is really standardize and utilize activities more than we are today in Classic. So we'll run through how to use activities and the best way to do those. We'll touch on reports and how to run reports. And then we'll leave lots of time at the end to wrap up and let you ask any questions that you might have. So the first things first, your accounts. These accounts in Classic are still going to mean the same exact thing in Lightning. So they're still going to be your client, your prospects, your competitor, your consultant. But they can be many things. Your contacts are going to be the people that look up to those accounts. So are they related to this account? And then your opportunities are still going to mean the same thing as well. So these are going to be how you're generating business revenue for your business and how you're tracking those. And then your activities are going to be made up of your tasks, your events, your log call, and your emails. So just to get the big picture as we go in here, so your accounts are still at the top, your contacts and your opportunities are related to those accounts, and then you have activities, your tasks, and your events. Any questions with that?
Nope.
Great. One of the major questions that we get is logging in. So just to clarify, you're still going to go to the same place to log in. You're still going to have the same link. You're still going to have the same username and password. So I just wanted to put this screen on here. That way you're at ease. You know that come December 21st, we're still logging in with the same information that we've had before. So nothing will change there. One of the major differences with Classic and Lightning is your interface. So the look and feel is going to be very different. The way you were doing things and the meaning behind them is still going to be the same, but where you're going to do things and how you're looking at it might be a little different to you. So I think it's just important to remember that as we do this migration, your accounts, your opportunities, all of those records still mean the same thing, but they will look a little different throughout the training and as you move to Lightning. So some of the new things that are really cool in Lightning that we want to call out, you're going to have more efficient navigation. So they are custom branded apps that we use. However, Michelle created an SEBPO app that you will be able to have on your homepage. That way you're not having to navigate through apps. We've created an app for you. So all of your objects and all of the things that you need are all in one place. So you shouldn't need to really find yourself out of that app, but I'll make sure to dive in there once we get into your org. You'll have your quick access to productivity tools. So your notes and your recent items will always be one click away from you, regardless of what page you're on. You'll have those new record layouts, which I was referring to. So your new records, again, are going to look and feel a little different, but they're made for you to come in here and have a seamless process. So you're not having to go to multiple pages to do one thing. You'll be able to create your own list views. So if you, for the best example I have is, let's say you're dealing with New Jersey accounts, you can come in here and create a list view. So that way, when you're logging into accounts, you're filtering always by those New Jersey accounts and you're only seeing what you need to see at all times. We'll have new dashboards that we currently aren't using at a lot today, but we're looking to use those. So we'll touch on that. And then your report views. Again, this look and feel is going to be a little different. Where you go to run reports is going to be able to look a little different, but you'll notice that it's a lot easier to run reports and get the data that you need more efficiently. So the first major call out that I do want to touch on is your homepage. So when you first log in, you are going to notice that your homepage is noticeably different. At the top here, you're going to see your news, and what news really is going to be your recent top news articles in the news today. However, if you're working with a specific account, and I think when I took this screenshot, I was specifically clicking on Washington Post a lot. So your news will start to filter out depending on what you're clicking and what accounts you're working with. And we can touch on that a little more when we dive in. But just so you know, again, your news will filter out, or if you're not clicking too much, it will just be the top news for today. Below that will be your today's events. So if you have any events leading up to today or on this day, you will see those listed there. Any tasks that you have to do today will also be listed there. And then right below that, you'll have your recent records. So anything that you're coming in here, and let's say I'm actively coming in here and I'm always clicking one opportunity, you're going to see that opportunity listed there. And what's nice about that is you can just click that link and log right into the opportunity. So again, it's a quick access to get what you need to. And then you'll have your key deals. So any recent opportunities that are a major deal, you'll see listed there. That way it's a major call out for you.
Hey, can I jump in with a quick question? Is this view customizable, like at an individual user level? Like if I would prefer my recent records to be up at the top, can I change that for my account?
So I think we got this question in the last training, and what we came to is it's probably customizable for different, like for example, if you're on the service delivery team, we can add groups, but by individual, it might not be as customizable depending on how we want to do this. So for example, if you're in sales, we can maybe group a sales view homepage. If you're on service delivery, we can customize a homepage just for sales.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then your homepage. So one of the things that were new to Lightning is we have some quick actions at the top right corner. And again, I'll make sure I zone in on this when we dive into your org. But what your quick actions are made up of is going to be for you to be able to create event, a task, a contact, no matter which record you're on. So that's something new that's in Lightning. And then what you'll have is your favorites as well, which will be new. Let's say you are always coming into Salesforce to view a specific report. We can mark that report as a favorite, and that way we can just select our drop down in our favorites and easily access that report with one click.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then we'll have your help guide. And just to call out, this is just going to be Salesforce documentation when you click this little help guide here, but I will say that it is comforting to have, especially once we're moving to Lightning. You'll be able to easily access any documentation in case you're lost anywhere or wherever you are in the org. Your notifications will be at the top, so any tasks that you have coming up or any chatter posts, anything that needs to be notified, you'll see there, and you can easily click into your notifications from this page. And then right below that, you'll have your user information. So nothing really too different here. You'll just have a easy click to your personal settings, your time zone, etc. I added this page right after because your quick actions is kind of similar where when you were in Classic, if you drop down to the left-hand side to create new, that's kind of what Lightning replicated here. So you have easy access to your event, your task, and your lead. It's just kind of found in a different place. Another call out that we have in Lightning that we didn't have in Classic is the ability to filter your list view. So that example that I gave you, if we're only working on accounts in New Jersey, we can filter, we can create a list view that I can easily come in here, I can click accounts and I can click that list view and I'm easily brought to all of my accounts in New Jersey. And we can save these filters so for you or distribute them out to service delivery. That way you have customized list views no matter what page you're on. So we can customize the leads, the accounts, the opportunities, and we can work with Lauren to standardize those list views if it's something that you're looking to do. In opportunities, again, your functionality with the opportunities is still going to be the same, but there is an added view here that wasn't in Classic, and it's called the Kanban view. And what this really does is give you a big picture of your opportunities and what's going on, what stage they're in. And you'll have easy access to move those opportunities through the stage should you need to. But what managers really like about this view is, again, it's giving you that big picture. It's allowing you to see all of the opportunities that, you know, are in preparation or in proposal stage and what those opportunities equal out to. So again, just a big picture of all of your opportunities. And you'll notice that we can also customize that list view as well. So if you're only wanting to see the big picture of your opportunities in New York, we can go ahead and create this Kanban view to show just certain opportunities that you're looking to see. Another new thing with your opportunities are going to be the path is going to be listed at the top here. Now you still did have stages in Classic, but you didn't have this view of being able to see exactly what stage they're in and mark that stage complete during this view at the top here. So that's something that's going to be new to you. And what is also new to this is that we didn't customize yet, but I believe that we may along the road is, let's say we have an opportunity that's in the proposal stage, we can quickly add some guidelines of key points to talk to this client when we are in this stage, or key notes that we need to call out when this opportunity is in this stage. So a lot is customized, can be customized with this. But for now, you'll just notice that the view is going to be different and you'll have the ability to mark the stage at this view instead of having to go into the field and mark it there. Any questions on anything new with opportunities?
Nope.
Okay, great. And then one other thing that I did call out in the Classic versus Lightning is our reports. So we have easy access to all of our reports, and I'll make sure that we cover the reports that are important to you and your organization. But we also can filter reports and we can create reports very easily in here, and especially if you're just kind of wanting to go see something simple, it's very easy to come in here and run your reports, create a report just for you and save them. So we'll make sure that we dive into the reports, especially with those that are important to your organization. After this slide, it goes really into accounts and contacts and how to manage these, but I think it would make more sense to log into your exact org. That way you're seeing how we're converting leads and creating accounts that pertain to you instead of going through dummy accounts. So what I'm going to do now is log right into your org. All right. So like I said, you'll have your homepage right here for you. Your news is at the top. You have your today's events, your recent records, your tasks, and your key opportunities. One thing that I do want to call out is that I did mention apps and customized apps. Like I said, we did create an SEBPO app for you. However, if you ever find yourself out of this page, I want to make sure that you know how to get back. So if I click this little dots in the left-hand corner, it brings me to my app launcher, which is all the apps that you have available to you. But if you ever need to find yourself out and you need to get back to where you need to be to log accounts and contacts and opportunities, you can just click this SEBPO app, and that's always where you should be, because we all already customized this for you and everything you need is right here. I know some of you are on this call and you are working closely with the leads. So let's touch on the leads tab first in case there's any questions. There shouldn't be really anything too new here, but I do want to touch on it just in case. So we'll click our leads. And one thing that you'll notice here is it brings me to my recently viewed. This is important to call out because when you first log in, you might not have recently viewed any leads, so it's going to be showing blank here. What you'll need to do is select the drop down and you can change your list view to all leads are recently viewed. What you can also do then is go ahead and select Aaron James. Let's say you need to convert this lead. We have stages at the top here of the stage that this lead is currently in. And unlike the opportunity, if I go ahead and select converted here and select converted status, it's going to bring me to a page that allows me to convert this lead into an opportunity or account or a contact. So what I can do here is I can change anything or I can search for a matching account should it be a part of another account that's already created. But for this example, I'll just go through and we can create new contacts. So it's going to create me a new contact in my contacts object and then create new opportunity. One question that did come up in the last training is, what if I'm in here and I don't want to create an opportunity? We do have this option right here, don't create an opportunity upon conversion. So if we just wanted to create this as an account or a contact and it wasn't yet an opportunity, we can do that. So once I convert it, it's going to bring me up a message that my lead has going to be converted. So you can't miss this. You'll know that once this is now an account, a contact, and an opportunity. Some of the things that are new to the leads, or we created a related list quick links here. So we can see the lead history. Let's say this lead went to some interested and then they went back again. Now we're approaching them again. You'll be able to go drop down and see all of the stages that this lead took upon conversion. And then you'll also see, I don't believe anyone is really logging activities on here, but if there's any past activities to do with this lead, you'll be able to see on the right-hand side any activities that this lead went through or anything pertaining to this lead. Lauren, is there anything else that you'd want me to touch on with anyone on the call that has to do with leads?
I think this is great.
Okay. All right, great. Any questions on leads? I know that not too much has changed from Classic versus Lightning for leads, but I just wanted to make sure I touched on it.
No, I think it looks very clear, and I like how it's organized. The one thing I am wondering if you could show us how do you see, I know you just looked at the history, but how can you see like what transpired, like if there was an email sent, what that email said?
So Lauren, are we still using EBSTA for leads as well, or are you just using the activities over here?
EBSTA will track to leads also. So Karen
Okay.
actually does not have EBSTA. What happens, Karen, with your leads is the activity, whatever you send through outreach automatically gets loaded as an activity into Salesforce.
Where do I see it? If I want to read an email that I sent.
So Kristen, if you can just show her where you would see an activity in a lead record.
Okay, so
activities, like if you click on that link.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Great, all clear.
Okay, great. All right. So for now, then we're going to move over to our accounts. Again, we have these recently viewed. If you haven't recently viewed any of accounts, it's not going to show up here. But if we drop down, we can go to all accounts. And then a couple of things that we can do here, and I want to take this time to call out some of the search functionality we have here. If we want to just search this list, we can. So for example, if I want to do the Washington Post, I can search the Washington and it's going to come up the Washington Post. I can search anything in here. So I can search for New Jersey, the phone number. If I want to view phone numbers that start with 215, I can go through and see all the phone numbers that have to do with 215. So this search functionality in the right-hand corner is just to search your accounts when you're on the accounts page. If I'm on the contacts, it will just be to search through my accounts. But at the top here, once I click into all, you'll see this search bar regardless of what record you're on or what object you're on. If I first click in here, it's going to give me all of my recent items that I've recently clicked. But you'll see because I'm on accounts, it's allowing me first to search through my accounts. So again, the Washington Post, you see that the first one that comes up is going to be the Washington Post. And then below that is my opportunities and any contacts that have to do with the Washington Post. At the very top here, if I was to just click this one, it's going to search the Washington within my whole org. So if I wanted to click that, it was going to bring up anything that says the Washington in my whole org. If I go through and I do the Washington again, you're just going to see account. So it's important to just know how you're searching, because I think in Classic, it's very convoluted on what you're searching for and trying to come up with, trying to search for an account. I think you can get multiple results and multiple objects. So just to know how this is working. And then again, if I needed to do a drop down, I can easily, just switch it from accounts or from all to contacts if I just want to, drill it down to a certain contact here. So very easy to use. It might be a little different than what you're used to today, though. Now, another thing that I want to touch on is those customized list views that I was referring to. So if we're in accounts, and let's say I'm just going to keep using that example, that we just want to view our New Jersey accounts, what I can do is I can come over here to this little settings icon and I can select new, and it comes up with a list name. So again, New Jersey accounts. If I tab, it will automatically fill in the API name for me, so you won't need to change that. And then who sees this view? For now, we're just going to concentrate on creating list views just for yourself. If we need to generalize the list views throughout the organization, I'll work with Lauren to do that. So we'll keep it only I can see this list view, and then we'll go ahead and save. And on the right-hand corner, what we'll need to do is we'll need to filter. So a major call out here, and I always do this when I go to create list views, is we want to make sure that we switch this to all accounts, because if I don't have that many accounts, then it's not going to work for me. So for this purpose in this training, I'm going to select all accounts, and I'm going to select done. And then we can then select add filter, and we're filtering by the field name. So because I want to do New Jersey, our field name needs to be filtered by our billing state. And then we'll select equals, and our value here is New Jersey. And we're done. And we'll save. And then you'll go ahead and see that now I have this list view with just my accounts that are New Jersey within this work. Once I've created a list view, it's always going to be here for me. So you can see in the last training I did New York, this one I did New Jersey. The only way that it's going to go away is if you go ahead and you select delete, or you can rename it. So this list view, again, will always be here. You'll be able to customize to anything you wanted. So I use the example of billing, but let's say you just have a type that you wanted to filter by, or your account owner, we can do that as well.
Hey, can I ask a quick question about the filtering in order to create the custom list? So one of the potential use cases on our end would be the type of client, the type of services, I guess, that we provide for the account. So it might be like a creative services account versus an advertising operations account. But I don't know if there is an existing field that would give me that information. Is there a way to create to tag accounts or do anything like that? Or is it just based on, it would have to be an additional field that was added at an account level?
Well, Lauren, let me ask you, do we have any fields in the opportunities or accounts that would give us that information, or not yet?
No, Todd, that's such a great question. At the current time, we don't necessarily differentiate, say, an RDC from a Simplify, from someone who only does creative. I think that I'll take a note here that in the future that would be incredibly helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that we could necessarily do it by account.
Yeah, I'm thinking, but at a project level,
right?
I think it would be doable. Yeah.
So let me just add that as something to do moving forward. That's such a great idea. And I think that would be helpful for us to see, who are our creative projects? How many creative teams do we have? How many ad ops teams do we have? How many data teams do we have? So
cool.
That's great. Cool. Sorry. But no, we definitely don't have anything like that now.
Yeah, no worries. Okay.
All right, great. So I'm going to go back to my Washington Post account just because I know that I have been working with this one as I was doing these trainings before, and I have information there. But just to show you a little bit of how this account record is designed. So at the top, we made it very easy for you to have your related list quick links. So if I filter down or if I hover over contacts, I'm going to see all of the contacts very easily that's related to this account. It's showing me 10, but if I need to easily click, I can select view all, and it's going to give me all of the contacts that are related to this account. So again, it's just a nice way that you're not having to go through multiple pages or tabs to get to what you need to. And then going back here, we can see all of our opportunities listed that have to do with this account and any projects related to this account. So you're noticing that all things are going to be related to the account, and you're seeing everything within one page. And then below, it kind of just gives me that similar fields. But what we want to concentrate on is, let's say, I'm creating my new opportunity for this account, and you may or may not do this on a daily basis, but just in case that you need to, we can always, what I want to get you used to doing is creating the opportunity from the account. That way it's automatically related and you don't have to tie anything back to each other. So if I'm on my opportunities under the Washington Post, you can see here on the right-hand side that I have new. And I want to put in my opportunity name. And I'm just going to do training. But you'll see here right below that the account name is already filled in for you. And then there's a couple of required fields that we need to fill in. So our prospect hurdle would be internal review. I'm just going to go through and add some things. Our close date. So when would we like to close this date? And I'm just going to put the end of the month and then the stage that they're currently in. And our actual close date, again, this isn't new to you, but I do want to call out that the actual close date doesn't have to be this date. It is when we actually close this opportunity, so we can leave that blank for you. The probability is automatically going to fill in depending on what stage you click. So if I click qualified, you'll see that my probability changed to 20%. And that will automatically change. You don't need to set anything there. We'll just put 5 here. And I believe that's the required fields that we need for opportunities. So once I have all my required fields filtered in, I can save it, but obviously the more information that you have, the better here. So if we needed to add anything, we can. And then we'll just go ahead and press save. Once I have my opportunity saved here, you'll see that I'm still on my account, but I can easily click into that opportunity from this stage now. And I have all the information here and it's related to this account. Any questions on how I did that, or maybe the people in this training might not need to do that on a daily basis, but is there any questions?
Good on this end.
Okay, awesome. So one of the things that I called out in Classic versus Lightning was your stage path here. So again, just to show you, now that I've created an opportunity, I'm currently on this qualified stage. Now, let's say we've had lots of conversations with them. I can easily move them to verbal acceptance by just mark current stage. And you'll see here that it automatically changes my stage field for me down here. I can also change this here. I don't want you to feel that this is the new way to do it and you have to do it this way. You can always do a drop down and all of your stages are listed here for you. One of the other things too are we have our new opportunity or recent loss. So this is a new opportunity. So we have a green flag here. When we do our opportunity reports, you'll see that we've created some images for you to help call out certain opportunities. And I'll go into that more when we do get to the reports. You'll see our last activity here. And what's new to you is the priority fields. So depending on the priority, it's automatically going to be filled in here by 2. But if I need to, I can go ahead and hover over and I can see what the priorities mean, and I can always change that priority depending on what I need to put in there. Any records, anything that you need to come in here and change, you absolutely can. So if I wanted to change networking, I just click in the field and I can take it out. But what people forget to do is, because it will change, just always remember, regardless of what you're doing or where you are, always click save, and that will save your information here. And Lauren, I might need you to comment again on the files that are being uploaded on the opportunity versus the account, because it's one thing that I didn't touch on.
You got it. Oh, like right now. Okay, so this is, so for the files, I'm sorry, just give me 1 second. So we're in the opportunity record right now, and in the opportunity record, Todd, this is particularly important, I would think, to your team. And then also, okay, this would actually is particularly important to the sales team, because they would be the ones that are uploading the documents, and we've gone through this with them as well. Okay. The SOW gets logged to the opportunity, because the SOW is always associated with a particular opportunity, whereas the MSA gets associated with the account, because the MSA, the account, the organization always operates under one MSA. So that's how we're differentiating where the files get uploaded. And one other thing about the files here, for everyone that's on the call, is as we go through the Lightning, as we're rolling this out, in addition to doing a better job about storing the contracts within Salesforce, what we'll also be doing is using more of this files object. So, once you have access to this, please take a look at it. It's way more friendly than old Salesforce was. Mm-hmm. The ability to upload files is much easier. So we'll be using it moving forward. Are there any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay. Good.
Great. So like Lauren said, just to show you an example, if I can filter over files, I would see any existing files here, but if I needed to add a new file, I can do that directly on the opportunity, and I can just do that by selecting add files. And you'll see here that I can do upload files here, or if I had any stored files. But it's very simple to come in here and then upload any files that you have that are living on your computer. Now going back to the account, since I missed that, I'm just going to click the Washington Post account again, and you'll see here that files is in the same place, but may need a different thing, but the look and the feel is the same as when you're uploading files and accounts, or whether you're uploading files and opportunities. So going back to my opportunities here, I'm going to go over to the right-hand side. So I want to show you how to activities on the right-hand side are going to be are on every single record. So if I need to, it's best to create an activity on the opportunity or the contact, because that means it's going to look up to that account and will be shown on the account. But for future reference, if you create an activity on an account, it won't show on the contact or the opportunities that are related to that account. So does that make sense? We're creating the activity on the lowest end of the contact and the opportunities. That way it will show on the account. So for example, if I want to go ahead and log a call here, I can recap my call very easily. I can relate it to a training, and I can also search my contacts here. Now, if I'm in here and let's say I just spoke to someone new from this company, I can easily, right from this page, go ahead and select a new account and start typing in my new accounts, or my new contacts, I'm sorry. So that way you're not having to navigate back to contacts in the Washington Post and create new contacts. You can do it right from this page and then go ahead and save. I can say that I spoke to Kristen about a call. I can write the call comments here. You want to fill in your project event type, and I'm sure these are not new to you. Your type, it was a call, and then we can go ahead and select save here. Once I select save, it's going to show me in my past activities that I had a call, and I can drill down just like I could for the emails to see what exactly that call was. Now, if I have a new task here, I can, again, create a new task. I can relate it to, this is important that came up on the other training. I can relate it to this opportunity, but if I'm in here and let's say I want to relate it to a certain person within this company, I can select the drop down here and I can change it to my contacts. And that way I can search the contact that was in Washington Post. So it's very easy to go in here and add a contact or an opportunity and create a task or assign a task to it. Again, I can search my contacts here. My subject of my task was, let's say, send quote by, when's my due date? We'll do it by the end of next week. It's in progress, and I can go ahead and select save. So now I see next steps. It's going to be located, my tasks that are upcoming are going to be my next steps. It will show here. Now, if it's a task and let's say the end of the week, next week has come and gone, you'll see it in past activities. So you're not going to lose this task just because it's over with. You will see it and be able to track all past activities, whether you're on the opportunity or the contact. Your new event, so let's say we're creating an on-site meeting, for example. We can go ahead and select meeting. We can do our start date. So when is this meeting going to be? It's going to be when we have the quote, and it's going to start at 10 a.m. for an hour. We can assign it. Right now, we're not assigning tasks to other people, so we'll keep it whoever's creating this record. Our type is where we define whether it's a follow-up meeting, an intro meeting, and then on-site. So again, it might not be that new to you, but I just want to show you the look and feel might be different. So exactly how we're logging a call, adding a new task and a new event, it will all be shown here. Now, if I go back to the Washington Post, just to show you, we're seeing all those activities that have to do with the Washington Post, regardless of the opportunity to contact. So everything's logged on the account, and you'll just see that you can click into the different opportunities or the different contacts that it may have to do with. Any questions on how to log a call, new task, or new event? I want to make sure everyone's comfortable with doing this. That way we're utilizing them more when we turn over to Lightning.
Makes sense on my end.
Okay, great.
Good to go.
All right. Now, once we're back to the account here, and I did skip over this, so if we need to create new contacts, we're going to do that the same way we create a new opportunity. Is we want to do that right from the account, so we're automatically relating them to each other. So we'll select a contacts here, and again, it's going to go ahead and show all of my contacts that are already related to this account. But if I need to, I'm going to go ahead and select new, and I can go ahead and put in the new contact information here. I'm just entering information. We'll see that you'll notice that your account name is automatically in here and it's required field. So we need to keep this in here going forward. And then any other information that you have is the mailing address is already going to be filled in because it's on the account. But if there's other address information that we want to enter in for this contact, we can enter in any other address information, and we can go ahead and just press save. So again, just to get in that feel of always creating a contact and an opportunity from the account is what's going to work best going forward, and that way they're all related to each other. Now, once I'm back into my opportunity, and let's say we won this and we're going to select close stage, it's going to come up that we need to say, is it closed lost or is it closed won? For this example, we're going to go ahead and select close won. And you'll see that it automatically completes all the stages and it's marked as closed won. Probability is 100%. And what we can do from here is we can then create a project from this screen. So that's why we have SEBPO projects as a related field on the opportunity. So it's easy for you to go ahead and then create the new project from this stage. So again, we're selecting new. And we can put in our searching account. We do have to filter in the account here, our project start date.
Hey, sorry, I just want to jump in with a quick question.
Sure.
In order to create a project, is it like a prerequisite that it has been moved into closed won status? Or could I create something that is like, at an 80% stage, but there's a high confidence it's going to close, and operationally, we've already begun a lot of work?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you can create a project regardless of what stage that this is in. So I just did that for an example that we won the opportunity, but even if we're in verbal acceptance and you want to get things going, you're always going to have this SEBPO projects related tab here. And we can select new, and you always have this.
Perfect.
A great example of that, Todd, that just came up in my head right now. An SEBPO project technically could be a test as well. Anything, if we're allocating resources to it, we don't have that set up now, but in the future, we could look at SEBPO projects like that. So anytime we're organizing a group of people within an opportunity, that's a great example of what a project could be down the road. For now, you start the project whenever you feel comfortable. The conversion point, like what we'd consider a conversion point, would definitely be closed won. That's when we know it has to be created. But if you want to create it before then, that's fabulous.
Yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about. I mean, it is our process right now that we wait until we have signed contracts for creating the project. But, we do a lot of operational discovery work before it actually closes. So if something, if we felt very, very confident that something was going to close, I was just thinking it might be a good idea to create it in advance and start logging the activity.
Yep.
Sure. And that goes back to our stages. So Lauren, or for anyone on this training, just so you know, we can always add, if we want to standardize when we're creating a project, we can even add a tidbit here. When it's closed won, we can put, now create your project, or if it's in verbal acceptance, now create your project to get going. So however you want to filter that, or however you want to define your workflow, we can do down the road. So again, once I'm in my new project here, we just want to make sure that we're going in and entering the information. Searching our account, we have to filter in our project start date. Maybe we're not set to start until January 1st because we're still in that verbal acceptance stage. So we'll put January 1st. We'll put, I'm not sure how long your projects usually last, but we'll give it 2 months. And then any expenses, we can go ahead and filter in this information as it pertains to us. Now, once I have my project here, again, it's automatically related to this opportunity. Now I can go ahead and I can click into the project. And what I want to call out is now you're seeing related lists different than you saw in the contact and the accounts and the opportunity. So there's related lists that shouldn't be new to you, but they are going to be different than what you used to saw. So I just want to show you that now that we're in the project here, we have our client summaries, resource transactions, our project roles, point of contact, your minutes, and your project shifts. So if you're not seeing anything here that you need to see, let Lauren know and we can add a related list very easily. And you're also seeing all of those related lists here if we need to go in and edit anything. Project roles, I do want to call out just because once we're in the project, we can select a role and we can search the contacts. The contacts are filtering from an account that's already created as SEBPO delivery. So if you're not seeing a contact here that you need to see, don't just really go ahead and create a contact without knowing exactly what you're doing. You can create a new contact here, but make sure you're filtering it and adding the SEBPO delivery team. So that way that contact is always going to be added on that team. We don't want contacts that are supposed to be part of the delivery team mixed in with your client contacts. So I just want to make sure that we call that out. Any questions on the projects? I believe that these are, relevant to you today, but feel free to comment or if you want me to go into a certain one.
Nope, they're consistent with how we use it today, so I'm pretty comfortable.
Awesome. Okay. All right, great. Well, with that said, I'm going to move over to our reports. And actually, one thing that is different that I do want to show you that, again, I called out on my PowerPoint, but I didn't show here is, so for example, if I have my recently viewed here, but I want to show, let's see, open opportunities. I do just want to show you how to get to that list view here that we were showing on my PowerPoint. So here's the Kanban view, and how I got here is when you first log in, it's going to be shown as a table, but this icon right second one from the left is going to be Kanban, and we can drop it down and see all of our opportunities at these stages. Another thing I also wanted to show was, let's say we're in contacts. Now I'm not logged in to LinkedIn, but I do have a new tab here that says Sales Navigator. And when I do click that, it's going to show any LinkedIn information that I have from this contact or this account. And I did take a screenshot of it because I'm not logged into LinkedIn as I'm going through this training, but I did want to show you what it would look like. So what you'll see here is any LinkedIn information pertaining to that account or that contact, we have it synced in. So if you're logged into LinkedIn, you may be asked to match that account if it's not already matched. But once you do match it, again, you'll see your recommended contacts or your connections through that account. So just a quick and easy way to access LinkedIn. Now, one of the questions we got in the last training was, if I go ahead, this isn't going to show on Caroline's LinkedIn that I viewed her profile. So it's just giving me a view here. I do have to go from here and click on her and then log into LinkedIn. And then that would bring me to LinkedIn. And obviously LinkedIn is working as it used to, or as it usually does from there. So that's the Sales Navigator. And you'll find the Sales Navigator on your accounts, your contacts, or your opportunities. Another thing as well is if I go ahead and create a new contact and it is a duplicate, it's going to pop up and it's going to show me that it's a duplicate when I go to create. But over here on the right-hand side, it's going to call out if it's a duplicate contact. So if I want to go ahead and view the duplicates, I can come here and easily view what may be the same or if they're not. All right, now we're ready to go into reports. So we have a couple of reports that, again, are going to be that you're used to hearing or that you're used to seeing. So I just wanted to take a moment to call those out. For our sales, we have two folders here that are important, our sales meeting folder and our SD reports. In our sales meeting, we're going to have pipeline with 7 days closed and activities from last week will be located there. In our SD reports, we have the SEBPO project summary report, last week events, and our trending utilization. So those reports shouldn't be new to you, but again, I do want to show you where to get them when we're in Lightning. So if I select my reports tab again, just like the other tabs, it's bringing me to my recent. But for the purpose of this training, I want to go ahead and show all folders here. And these two folders are what I was referring to on that last slide. So if I go ahead and select sales meeting, it's then going to bring me to those two reports that were important to my organization. So activities from last week, I can go ahead and just select the link and it's going to bring me to my activities from last week. Now, there's not a lot of data in this org because it is a sandbox org. So you'll see a lot more information when you go live on the 21st than I am seeing here today. So just keep that in mind. A report that we're still working on the exact headers here, so you might see a little difference than you're seeing today, but a new thing that we do want to call out is we added some icons for you to help call out certain opportunities. So I believe your yellow is it's been stalled, and there's a lot of stalled opportunities in here because it's not an active org. Your big money account, so I believe if it's over 200K, you're seeing a money sign here, so it's easy to call out those opportunities. If you close one opportunity, you'll have a green flag. Or actually, a closed one is a party hat and a green flag. An active opportunity or account is a green flag. And if it's closed lost, I don't believe I have any in here, but it would just show a red flag. Any questions on this report while we're here?
No questions.
Nope, sounds good to me.
Okay, great. So going back into some folders here. Now, again, we're still working internally on defining what reports that we need or we can improve reports. It's very easy to do. So if you're sitting there and you're like, you know what, I would really appreciate a report that showed this, or I would really appreciate a report that showed these combined information, let Lauren know, because it's really easy for us to come in here now and create new reports. But just to show you a little more of the SEBPO project summary, for example, again, I'm just clicking that link and it's bringing me right to the report. So very easy to get to the information that you needed. If I need to for any, I can edit the report, but we shouldn't be able to do that depending on what access that you have. And then going into our reports, at the very top, you can select a new report, and it might be a little harder to create customized reports for you, but I just want to touch on really quick. We do have a lot of reports that are already created for you. I'll just do again, I don't have a lot of data in here, but you see the steps that it took. It's very easy to go in here and create a report that's already made for you. Again, if you want a customized report, we'll have to take some time to do that. But again, just to go back and show you a little how it did that. So I can create new report. All of my filtering is down here, and I selected accounts and contacts to begin with. And then I can do accounts with assets, accounts with contact roles, continue, and it's going to run that report right from here. I have the ability, all of my columns are preset for me, and then I can select run, and it's going to bring me to that report. It's unfortunate that I don't have a lot of data in here because it's not going to show. It's going to keep showing me a 0. But just so you're gathering the steps and how easy it is to create a report that's already here for you.
Great. And this might be a question I have for Lauren. Lauren, do you happen to know if the service delivery level of access gives us the ability to create or edit existing reports?
You should be able to fully use, create, edit all reports. Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll hit you up if I'm not able to, because for instance, there's a report where I'm trying to filter out accounts that are no longer active, and I'm not sure if I do have the access. So I'll just let you know.
The best thing that you can do in that case is to send a screenshot of the error that you're getting, and then we can just troubleshoot it.
Cool.
One of the things that we're looking to do with Soliant in 2019, like in the first quarter, is to go through and review permissions. They were set up a long time ago and not very well, and they're not documented. So I assume that you should have permission, but it's quite possible you have a profile that's associated with your account and you don't. And we can make that, we'll make that change right away, because we want everyone to have access to the reports to be able to edit them.
Great.
They're so powerful. They're so great to use. So just screenshot and we'll get it resolved as quickly as possible.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Great. Now, one of the things I mentioned in my PowerPoint too is, let's say we want to mark an SEBPO project summary as one of our favorites. I can just come up here to the star and it will automatically create a favorite for me. So now I can see at this drop down that all my favorites are listed in one place. So my reports, my opportunities, doesn't matter what object it is. All of that list is right here. If I need to edit my favorites for any reason, I can just select edit, and let's say I'm no longer working with the Washington Post opportunity, I can go ahead and just delete it. So these are custom just for you and just for your org when you log in. They won't show anywhere else. So I think we pretty much covered, we went through the leads and how to convert. We went through the accounts. We went through the best way to create a contact and opportunity from the account. We showed you how to then create the SEBPO project from the opportunity and those project roles. And then we went through a little summary of reports. Reports is, probably an hour training in itself. So when we get in here and we can, we get used to working with Lightning, we can work with Lauren if that's something you're interested in, on how to create and edit reports and how to easily do that for your, whether it's service delivery or sales. But are there any questions? I know that we're a little early here, but I wanted to leave a lot of time for questions or comments or anything that you would like to see that I didn't show you today.
Not that I can think of. I think for what I do within Salesforce, you're very thorough.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I think all the questions we had from this end, we asked along the way.
Okay, awesome. When it comes time to the 21st, this is kind of something that you need to get in here and, start using, and then you'll probably come up with a few questions and, how things are working. So we'll work with Lauren if any questions are coming through, or if we need to set up some time individually to work with you, we're happy to do so. So just keep track of your questions along the way, especially that first day when you're logging in, and we'll make sure that we tackle all of them and make sure that you're as comfortable as you need to be in here.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for going through this with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, everyone, for taking the time to be here.
Good. Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.